The wind howls across a rugged 18th century coastline, its icy gusts rattling the narrow windows of a stone lighthouse as you, a keeper, perhaps a former farmer or weathered sailor, climb the spiral stairs. Your oil lamp, the rough walls, it's 1750, and having embraced the solitary calling of this lonely beacon. A half-mile from the nearest village in 10 minutes, you face the relentless demands of your duty. The air is sharp with salt and the Thames of burning oil, your breath visible in the chill as you prepare to light the night's flame. Where the first segment introduced the isolated life of a lighthouse keeper, this chapter delves into the daily routine, tending the oil lamps, cleaning lenses, and battling the elements that defined your existence. A grueling rhythm that both anchored and exhausted you, weaving a life where the fight against the storm's fury could lull you into moments of weary repose. The keeper's routine was a ceaseless cycle, dictated by the sun's arc and the sea's moods. As a keeper, your day began at dusk, a quarter-mile climb from your sparse quarters in 5 minutes. Your hands already calloused from years of labor, perhaps plowing fields 2 miles away or hauling nets on a fishing boat. The lighthouse, perched on a cliff a mile from the village in 20 minutes, demanded your vigilance, its flame your responsibility to keep ships safe from jagged rocks below. You'd carry a bucket of whale oil, its weight heavy on your shoulder, the scent pungent. As you ascended the tower's 60 steps, each one creaking under your boots. The routine was unforgiving, your body moving through tasks with a rhythm born of necessity. The storm's roar outside a constant reminder of your purpose. Sleep a distant thought as the night's work began. Lighting the lamps was the heart of your duty, a task requiring precision in the face of nature's wrath. At the tower's summit, a quarter-mile from the base in 5 minutes, you'd enter the lantern room, its glass panes rattling in the wind, the seas spray a half-mile. Below in 10 minutes, stinging the windows. The lamps, simple brass burners fueled by whale or fish oil, were your charge, their wicks trimmed to ensure a steady flame. You'd pour oil from a tin, the liquid sloshing, its acrid smell filling the air, your hands steady despite the cold. Each lamp, lit with a flint and tinder, cast a feeble glow, its light amplified by crude reflectors' polished metal plates that threw beams across the sea. You've struck the flint, sparks flaring, the flame catching as you adjusted the wick. The routine, a ritual that grounded you. Your focus narrowing as the storm raged, sleep a fleeting temptation in the long hours ahead. Cleaning the lenses, though primitive compared to later optics, was a meticulous task that consumed your nights. The lighthouse's light relied on glass panes or early parabolic reflectors, their surfaces clouded by soot from the oil lamps or salt from the sea spray. As a former sailor, your eyes sharp from spotting sails 10 miles away in 5 hours. You'd climb to the lantern room, a cloth in hand, polishing each pane with vinegar and water, the temps sharp in your nose. The task, done twice nightly, took 30 minutes, your arms aching as you scrubbed, the wind's howl a constant companion. You've leaned into the glass, your breath fogging, the sea's vastness below a reminder of the ships depending on your care. The routine's repetition lulling your mind, the warmth of the lamp's flame a subtle invitation to rest. Though duty kept your eyes open, the storm was your greatest adversary, its fury testing your resolve. Gales sweeping across the coast. A mile from the village, battered the lighthouse, their force shaking the stone walls, the sea's waves crashing below with a roar that drowned your thoughts. As a keeper, you'd brace against the wind. A quarter-mile descent to check the tower's base in 5 minutes, ensuring the structure held against the tempest. Rain lashed your oilskin coat, its weight heavy, the cold seeping into your bones. As you secured shutters or cleared debris from the cliff's edge, you've fought through storms, your boots slipping on wet stone. The routine, a battle against nature, your body exhausted yet driven. Sleep, a distant dream as the wind's scream kept you alert. The flames glow, your only solace. Fuel management. It was a critical task. The lighthouse's light, dependent on a steady supply. Whale oil, stored in barrels, a quarter-mile from the tower's base, was your lifeline. Each barrel hauled up the cliff in 20 minutes, your muscles straining under the load. As a farmer, used to carrying grain to miles, you'd ration the oil, knowing a single barrel fueled a week's light. Its depletion, a threat to ships a half-mile offshore. You'd check the stores, the damp cellar's scent of mold mixing with oil, your hands slick as you filled tins. You've carried buckets up the spiral stairs, the weight pulling at your shoulders. The routine, a test of endurance, the monotony of checking levels dulling your mind. Sleep, a quiet lure as the night wore on, the flame's steady burn a reminder. Of your duty, the keeper's log was your record, a chronicle of the night's work and the sea's moods. In a small room below the lantern, a quarter-mile from the cliff's edge, you'd sit at a wooden desk, quill in hand, noting the weather, oil levels, and any ship sighted. As a sailor, your memory of storms 10 miles away sharpened your entries. Each word scratched in the dim light of a candle, its wax dripping as you wrote. The log, kept nightly, took 15 minutes, your hand cramping, the wind's howl a backdrop to your thoughts. You've penned entries, your eyes heavy, the routine's rhythm soothing. The act of writing, a moment of pause, sleep creeping closer as the candle's flicker danced. The log, a testament to your vigilance in the face of exhaustion. Maintenance of the lighthouse was a constant battle against decay, the seas, salt and wind eroding stone and metal. You'd inspect the tower, a half-mile from the village, checking for cracks or rust. Your hands tracing the rough walls, the cold biting your fingers. As an artisan, skilled in mending tools a mile away, you'd repair shutters or tighten bolts, the task taking hours in the storm's lulls. You've climbed the tower's exterior, a rope tied to your waist, the sea spray stinging your face. The routine, a fight to keep the lighthouse standing, your body weary as you worked. Sleep, a faint temptation in the moments of stillness. The tower's strength, a mirror of your own resolve. The physical toll of the routine was relentless, each task a demand on your body. As a keeper, you'd rise at dusk, your muscles stiff from the previous night. The cold of the tower, a quarter-mile from your bed, seeping into your joints. The stairs climbed multiple times nightly, strained your knees, the oil bucket's weight, pulling at your back. You've hauled supplies, your breath short, the wind's chill a constant foe, the routine a grind that left you aching. The sea's roar, a half-mile below, drowned your fatigue, but the warmth of the lantern room, heated by the lamps, offered a fleeting comfort, your body tempting you to rest. Sleep, a whisper as you leaned against the warm glass, duty holding. You fast. The psychological weight of the routine was as heavy as the physical, the isolation sharpening each task's burden. Alone in the tower, a mile from the village's warmth, you'd face the night's silence, the sea's endless drone your only companion. As a former farmer, used to communal labor 2 miles away, you'd feel the loneliness, the routine's repetition, a monotony that dulled your thoughts. You've stood in the lantern room, the flames glow your soul light, the storm's fury a reminder of your solitude, sleep a quiet escape that beckoned in the long hours. The routine's rhythm, a balance between duty and the mind's need. For rest, your vigilance, a fragile thread against the night's weight. The sensory world of the keeper's routine was a stark contrast. The tower, a realm of extremes. The air reeked of whale oil, its acrid temps clinging to your cloak. The wind's salt, a sharp counterpoint. The sound of waves crashing below, a half-mile away, blended with the creak of the tower's stairs. Each step a note in a relentless song. The lantern room's warmth from burning lamps was a fleeting refuge. The cold glass chilling your hands as you cleaned. You've stood in the dark, the flames flicker casting shadows, your eyes tracing their dance. The routine's sensory pull lulling your mind. Sleep a gentle possibility as the warmth softened your resolve. The seas roar a distant lullaby. The routine's demands were a cultural artifact, reflecting the 18th century value of duty over comfort. As a keeper, you'd embody this ethos. Your work a mile from the village, a service to unseen sailors. Your life shaped by the need to protect. The routine was a contract with the sea, each task lighting lamps, cleaning lenses a pledge to keep the light alive. You've toiled through storms, your hands steady. The routine a testament to resilience. Your moments of near sleep a quiet rebellion against its grind. The lighthouse's glow a symbol of your sacrifice, its legacy a light that pierced the dark for others. The fragility of rest was stark, the routine leaving little room for repose. Falling asleep was a risk, the flames flicker your charge, a lapse endangering ships a half-mile offshore. As a sailor, you'd fight fatigue, your eyes burning as you polished glass, the routine's demands keeping you alert. You've seen moments of weakness, your head nodding in the lantern room, the warmth tempting you to close your eyes. But the wind's howl or a creaking stare pulled you back. The routine, a relentless master, sleep a fleeting dream in the tower's glow. The night deepens, and you stand in the lantern room. The lighthouse a half-mile from the village, its flame cutting through the storm. The routine tending lamps, battling wind, logging the sea's moods defined your life. A rhythm that anchored, yet exhausted you. Your days, shaped by duty, found purpose in the light. Each task a fight against the dark, each moment a dance with weariness. For now, you pause, the flame steady, the sea roaring. Your heart bound to the lighthouse's glow, a beacon where sleep was a whisper, and your vigilance a testament to an 18th century keeper's enduring resolve. The storm's fury rattles the stone walls of an 18th century lighthouse, its relentless winds howling across the cliff as you, a keeper, perhaps a former farmer or sailor, stand in the lantern room, the faint glow of the oil lamps casting a fragile beam into the night. It's 1750, and having embraced the solitary vigil of this beacon, a half-mile from the nearest village in 10 minutes, you've settled into the grueling rhythm of tending its flame. The air is thick with the scent of whale oil and sea salt, your hands chilled by the tower's damp stones as you brace against the gale. Where the first segment introduced your isolated existence, and the second explored the daily tasks that bound you to the light, this chapter delves into the lighthouse's rugged architecture, its stone towers, primitive optics, and sparse quarters diameter, to withstand nature's wrath while guiding ships, a fortress that both sheltered and tested you. Its stark design, a quiet law, toward moments of weary repose. The lighthouse's construction was a testament to necessity, built to endure the sea's relentless assault. As a keeper, you'd live within its walls. A mile from the village in 20 minutes, its circular stone tower rising 30 to 60 feet above the cliff's edge. The structure, made of local granite or limestone, was anchored deep into the rock, its base a quarter-mile from the crashing waves below in 5 minutes. You'd trace the rough-hewn stones, their surfaces pitted by salt and wind, your fingers feeling the mason's craft. Each block a bulwark against storms that swept. The coast, the tower's simplicity, thick walls, narrow windows was its strength. Designed to stand firm where houses a half-mile away crumbled, your life tied to its endurance. The cold stone, a constant companion as you worked, sleep a distant thought. In its unyielding embrace, the lantern room, perched at the tower's summit, was the heart of the lighthouse, its design a balance of function and fragility. Reached by a spiral staircase, a quarter-mile climb in 5 minutes, the room was a small, circular chamber, its walls lined with glass panes to protect the flame. As a former sailor, your eyes keen from spotting land 10 miles away in 5 hours, you'd marvel at the room's exposure, the wind's howl shaking the panes, each one a handspan thick to resist shattering. The floor, often iron or wood, creaked under your boots, the air heavy with oil fumes, the flames' heat a faint warmth against the chill. You've stood here, the seas roar a half-mile below, the room's design a marvel that kept the light alive, its starkness lulling your mind. Sleep a quiet temptation as the night stretched on. The optics, though crude by modern standards, were the lighthouse's soul, amplifying the weak flame to reach ships a mile offshore. Early 80s lighthouses used parabolic reflectors, polished copper, or tin plates arranged around the oil lamps to focus their light. As a farmer, used to simple tools 2 miles away, you'd admire the craft. Each reflector cleaned nightly to remove soot, a task that took 20 minutes, your hands blackened by residue. The reflectors, imperfect and prone to tarnish, threw a beam that flickered in the fog, its range limited to 5 miles on clear nights. You've polished these plates, your breath fogging the cold metal. The optics design a lifeline for sailors, their faint glow a reminder of your duty, the repetitive task soothing your thoughts. Sleep, a whisper in the lantern room's dim light. The tower's interior was Spartan, its design prioritizing survival over comfort. The spiral staircase, winding up the center, was narrow, its stone steps worn smooth by your daily climbs, each ascent a test of endurance. As an artisan, skilled in mending a mile away, you'd navigate the stairs, your lamp casting shadows. On the damp walls, the air cool and musty. The keeper's quarters, a small room at the base, a quarter-mile from the lantern room, held a cot, a table, and a hearth, its furnishings rough-hewn, the walls bare except for a peg for your cloak. You've rested here, the fire's warmth a fleeting comfort, the room's starkness reflecting your solitary life. Sleep a rare luxury as the storm's howl called you back to the tower's summit, the design's austerity a constant test. The lighthouse's foundation was its anchor, engineered to withstand the sea's erosion. Built on solid rock or piled stones, a half-mile from the village. The base was broad to resist waves that crashed below, their spray soaking the cliff in minutes. As a keeper, you'd inspect the foundation, a quarter-mile descent in 5 minutes. Checking for cracks or shifting stones, your hands chilled by wet rock. The design, simple yet robust, ensured the tower stood against gales that felled trees a mile away, its stability your lifeline. You've knelt by the base, the sea's roar deafening, the foundation's strength a mirror of your resolve, its unyielding presence a quiet lure to rest, sleep a fleeting thought as you returned to your tasks. The tower's design your shelter and your burden. Windows, small and few, were a critical feature, balancing light with protection. Set high in the tower's walls, a quarter-mile from the ground, they were narrow slits. Their thick glass warped but sturdy, letting in faint daylight while keeping out the wind's bite. As a sailor, you'd value their placement, the dim light. Guiding your steps on the stairs, the seas spray a half-mile below, barely breaching them. You've leaned against a sill, the glass cold. The view of the horizon, a reminder of ships depending on your light. The windows design a compromise that kept the tower secure, their faint glow soothing your eyes, sleep a subtle temptation. As the night's quiet settled, the tower's starkness a call to rest. The keeper's quarters, though minimal, were a sanctuary within the fortress, their design shaped by necessity. A single room, a quarter-mile from the lantern room, held a cot with a straw mattress, a wooden chair, and a small hearth. Its fire, fueled by driftwood, gathered a half-mile from the shore in 10 minutes. As a farmer, you'd kindle the hearth, the smoke curling up a narrow chimney, the warmth barely reaching the damp walls. The room's simplicity, with no adornments save a shelf for your logbook, mirrored your isolated life, its sparseness a contrast to the village's warmth a mile away. You've sat by the fire, your hands warmed, the quarters quiet a rare pause. Sleep creeping closer as the storm's roar softened. The design's austerity a gentle nudge toward repose. The lighthouse's exterior was a battleground, its design exposed to the elements' wrath. The stone walls, weathered by salt and wind, required constant care, their surface a quarter-mile from the cliff's edge, scarred by storms. As an artisan, you'd patch cracks with lime mortar, a task taking. Hours your hands raw from mixing, the sea's spray stinging your face. The tower's conical shape deflected wind, its design learned from centuries of coastal failures, ensuring it stood where others fell a mile away. You've climbed the exterior, a rope securing you, the design's resilience a testament to human ingenuity, its ruggedness a mirror of your endurance. Sleep a distant dream as you worked, the tower's strength a quiet comfort in the storm. The ventilation system, though basic, was vital, keeping the lantern room's air breathable. Small vents near the roof, a quarter-mile from the base, let out oil fumes. Their narrow openings designed to block rain while allowing air to flow. As a sailor, your lungs used to see air 10 miles away. You'd notice the fumes' temps, the vent's faint whistle blending with the wind's howl. You've cleaned these vents, your hands blackened. The task a brief pause in the cold, the ventilation's design ensuring the flame burned steady. Its faint warmth a lure to linger, sleep a subtle possibility as the air cleared. The towers design a balance of function and survival. The sensory world of the lighthouse was stark, its design shaping a life of contrasts. The air was heavy with oil and salt, the wind's chill a constant presence, the flame's warmth a fleeting refuge. In the lantern room, the sound of waves, a half-mile below, crashed relentlessly, their roar blending with the creak of wooden floors, a rhythm that anchored your nights. As a keeper, you'd feel the cold stone under your hands, the glass panes chill, the flames flicker, casting shadows that danced on the walls, your eyes tracing their patterns. The design's austerity dulled your senses, the routine's repetition lulling your mind. Sleep a quiet temptation as the tower's glow held you, the sea's drone a distant lullaby. The lighthouse's design was a cultural artifact, reflecting 18th century priorities of utility and endurance. As a keeper, you'd embody this ethos. Your life a mile from the village, a service to mariners. the tower's starkness a symbol of duty. The design, from its stone walls to its crude optics, was built to survive, not comfort. Its purpose, too. Guide ships through the dark. You've toiled within its walls, your hands steady, the architecture's resilience, a mirror of your own. Sleep, a fleeting escape as the light burned. The tower's design, a testament to your sacrifice, its legacy. A beacon that pierced the storm. The fragility of rest was stark, the lighthouse's design leaving little room for repose. Sleep was a risk. The flames glow your charge, a lapse endangering ships a half-mile offshore. As a farmer, you'd fight fatigue, your eyes burning as you climbed the stairs, the tower's cold keeping you alert. You felt your head nod, the lantern room's warmth tempting you. But the wind's howl or a creaking pane pulled you back, the design's austerity a relentless master. Sleep a whisper in the tower's glow. The night deepens, and you stand. In the lantern room, the lighthouse, a half-mile from the village, its beam cutting through the storm. Its designed stone walls, crude optics, sparse quarters sheltered you, a fortress that tested your endurance. Your life, bound to its light, found purpose in its starkness. Each moment a fight against the dark, each pause a dance with weariness. For now, you linger, the flame steady, the sea roaring. Your heart tied to the lighthouse's glow, a beacon where sleep was a whisper, and your vigilance a testament to its enduring design. The storm's roar crescendos around an lighthouse, its waves crashing against the cliff below as you, a keeper once, a farmer or sailor, stand vigilant in the lantern room, the oil lamp's faint beam slicing through the fog. It's 1750, and having settled into the relentless routine of tending the flame and navigating the rugged tower, a half-mile from the village in 10 minutes, you now face the sea's wrath head-on. The air is thick with salt spray, the winds howl mingling with the creak of the tower's panes, your heart pounding as you scan the horizon for signs of distress. Where earlier segments explored your isolated life, daily tasks, and the lighthouse's stark design, this chapter delves into your role during storms, spotting shipwrecks, aiding sailors, and facing the seas, perils weaving tales of heroism and heartbreak that defined your nights. The lighthouse's beam a lifeline that could lull you into weary repose amidst the chaos. The sea was both your adversary and your purpose, its moods dictating your nights. As a keeper, you'd stand watch. A quarter-mile climb from your quarters in 5 minutes, your eyes trained on the waves a half-mile below. Storms sweeping across the coast a mile from the village in 20 minutes, turned the sea into a churning abyss, its waves hiding rocks that could splinter a ship in moments. You'd seen vessels, their sails torn, driven toward the shore, their crews' cries lost in the gale. Your role was to keep the light burning, its beam a guide to safe waters, but when ships faltered, your duty extended to rescue. Your heart racing as you prepared to act, sleep a distant thought as the storm's fury demanded your focus. Spotting a shipwreck was a harrowing task, requiring keen eyes and instinct honed by years at sea or in fields. As a former sailor, used to scanning horizons 10 miles away in 5 hours, you'd peer through the lantern room's glass, the fog blurring the sea's edge. The beam's reach limited to 5 miles in clear weather. On stormy nights, visibility dropped to a half-mile, the light flickering as rain lashed the panes. You'd spot a ship's silhouette, its mast tilting, a quarter-mile offshore in 5 minutes, the crew's lanterns flashing in distress. You've leaned into the glass, your breath fogging, the sea's roar deafening. The task of spotting wrecks, a test of vigilance. Sleep a fleeting temptation as the light's glow steadied your resolve. The storm's chaos, a call to action, signaling. 2 ships was your first response, the lighthouse's beam, your voice. The oil lamps, tended nightly, cast a steady glow, but in storms, you'd adjust their wicks. A task taking 10 minutes to brighten the beam, hoping to guide a struggling vessel. As a farmer, your hands steady from plowing 2 miles away, you'd turn the reflectors, their polished surfaces amplifying the light, their faint warmth a contrast to the cold glass. You've signaled through the night, the winds howl a constant foe, the beam cutting through fog to warn of rocks below. The act was repetitive, your eyes straining, the storm's din lulling your mind. Sleep a whisper as you focused, the light's pulse a lifeline for sailors lost in the dark. When signaling failed, rescue became your duty, a perilous task that tested your courage. The lighthouse, a half-mile from the village, had no lifeboat station, so you'd venture to the cliff's edge, a quarter-mile descent in 5 minutes, carrying a rope and lantern. The shore, jagged with rocks, was treacherous, the waves crashing, with enough force to sweep you away. As a sailor, you'd navigated stormy decks, but here, the cliff's whetstones, a half-mile below the tower, were unforgiving. You've tied a rope to a boulder, your boots slipping, the sea's spray stinging your face, the rescue effort a race against time. Sleep impossible as adrenaline surged, the lighthouse's beam your guide as you sought survivors amidst the wreckage. Rescuing sailors was a grueling ordeal, often ending in heartbreak. You'd wade into the shallows, a quarter-mile from the tower, the water icy, your cloak heavy with spray, searching for survivors clinging to debris. A shipwreck, a half-mile offshore, might yield a few souls, their cries faint over the waves. Raw. As a keeper, you'd pull a sailor to shore, his body cold, your arms straining under his weight, the task taking hours in the storm's grip. You've knelt by the rescued, offering your flask of ale, their gratitude a fleeting warmth, but often you'd find only wreckage, the sea claiming its toll. Sleep a distant dream as you mourn, the lighthouse's light a somber witness to loss. The aftermath of a wreck was a somber task, marking the sea's toll on your nights. You'd comb the shore, a half-mile from the tower, in 10 minutes, collecting debris, splintered planks, torn sails to signal the wreck to passing ships. As a farmer, used to salvaging crops 2 miles away, you'd stack the wreckage, your hands raw from rope burns, the wind's chill biting. You'd record the wreck in your log, a quarter-mile from the lantern room, noting the ship's name, if known, the task a quiet reflection on loss. You've stood by the shore, the sea's roar softening, the act of cataloguing a moment of pause, sleep creeping closer as grief weighed. The lighthouse's beam, a steady reminder of your duty. Interaction with survivors, when they lived, was a rare human connection, breaking the lighthouse's isolation. You'd bring them to your quarters, a quarter-mile from the cliff, offering dry cloth and a fire's warmth, their tales of storms 10 miles away filling the room. As a sailor, you'd share stories of the sea, your voice blending with theirs, the hearth's glow a fleeting bond. You've listened to a captain recount his ship's end, his eyes haunted, the moment a reminder of your purpose. Sleep a distant thought as you tended their needs. The lighthouse's solitude softened by their presence, its design a haven for those you saved. The emotional toll of rescues was heavy, each wreck a scar on your heart. The sea, a half-mile below, was merciless, its storms claiming lives despite your light. As a keeper, you'd feel the weight of failure, a ship lost, quarter-mile offshore haunting your nights. The beams flicker, a reminder of limits. You've stood in the lantern room, the storm subsiding, your eyes tracing the horizon. The grief of lost sailors dulling your senses. Sleep, a quiet escape that beckoned in the silence. The lighthouses glow a bittersweet comfort as you mourned. Your duty unbroken despite the heart's ache. The physical demands of rescues were punishing. The sea's wrath testing your strength. You'd haul ropes or debris, a half-mile from the tower, your muscles aching. The cold seeping into your bones as waves soaked your cloak. As a farmer, your body used to labor 2 miles away. You'd endure, but the effort left you drained. The cliffs climb back to the tower, a quarter-mile ascent in 5 minutes, a test of will. You've collapsed by the hearth, your hands trembling. The physical toll lulling your body, sleep a temptation as the fire's warmth eased your aches. The lighthouses beam a steady call to stay awake. Your resolve, a fragile thread against exhaustion. The sensory world of these encounters was vivid. The storm's chaos, a stark backdrop. The air was thick with salt and rain. The winds howl a deafening roar. The seas spray a half-mile below, stinging your skin. The crack of splintered wood, the cries of sailors, blended with the lighthouse's creaking panes, a soundscape that sharpened your focus. As a keeper, you'd feel the ropes burn, the cold rocks underfoot, the lantern's faint warmth. Contrast to the storm's bite, your senses alive yet wearied. Sleep, a subtle lure as the night's chaos faded. The lighthouses light a steady pulse in the dark. The cultural significance of your role was profound. Your rescue's a testament to 18th century maritime values. The lighthouse, a mile from the village, stood as a symbol of duty, its keepers revered as guardians of the sea. You'd embody this ethos, your efforts to save lives, a service to unseen sailors, your heart bound to the light. You faced storms, your hands steady. The tales of wrecks and rescues, a legacy of sacrifice. Sleep, a fleeting rebellion against duty's grind. The lighthouses beam, a cultural artifact that honored your vigilance. Its glow, a lifeline for a maritime world. The fragility of rest was stark, the sea's demands leaving little room for repose. Sleep was a risk, a lapse endangering lives a half-mile offshore, the storm's urgency keeping you alert. As a sailor, you'd fight fatigue, your eyes burning as you scanned the waves, the lighthouse's cold sharpening your senses. You felt your head nod, the lantern room's warmth tempting you. But a sailor's cry or the wind's gust pulled you back. Sleep a whisper in the storm's chaos. The lighthouse's duty, a relentless master. Its beam your guide through the night. The storm subsides, and you stand in the lantern room. The lighthouse, a half-mile from the village, its light piercing the fog. Your encounters with the sea-spotting wrecks, saving lives to find your nights. A dance of heroism and loss. Your life, shaped by the sea's wrath, found purpose in its beam, each rescue a fight against the dark, each pause a brush with weariness. For now, you linger, the flame steady, the sea calming, your heart tied to the lighthouse's glow, a beacon where sleep was a whisper, and your courage a testament to an 18th century keeper's enduring resolve. The faint glow of dawn creeps over the horizon, casting a pale light through the narrow windows of an 18th century lighthouse as you, a keeper once, a farmer or sailor descend the spiral stairs, the echo of last night's storm still ringing in your ears. It's 1750, and having endured the relentless tasks of tending the flame and the perilous rescues under the tower's rugged design, a half-mile from the village, in 10 minutes, you pause in the quiet of your sparse quarters. the air carries. The lingering scent of whale oil and damp stone, your breath steadying as the sea's distant roar softens. Where earlier segments explored your duties, the lighthouse's architecture, and your encounters with shipwrecks, this chapter delves into the psychological toll of isolation, balanced by rare moments of companionship, shaping your resilience amidst the sea's vast loneliness. A life where solitude could lull you into weary repose. The quiet, a subtle invitation to dream. Solitude was the lighthouse's constant companion, its weight shaping your every thought. As a keeper, you lived a mile from the village's warmth in 20 minutes. The tower, your world, its stone walls a barrier between you and humanity. Days passed with only the sea's drone, a half-mile below in 10 minutes, for company, its endless rhythm both soothing and oppressive. You'd sit in your quarters, a quarter-mile from the lantern room in 5 minutes, the cot's straw mattress creaking, the hearth's faint warmth barely cutting the chill. As a former sailor, used to the camaraderie of a ship 10 miles away, you'd feel the silence, the absence of voices, a heavy cloak. Your mind wandering through memories of crowded decks or bustling fields. Sleep a quiet temptation as solitude dulled your senses. The lighthouse's isolation a test of your inner strength. The psychological toll of this loneliness was profound. Each day a battle against the mind's drift. You'd climb the tower's stairs, a quarter-mile ascent, the repetitive task numbing your thoughts, the sea's vastness a mirror of your solitude. As a farmer, accustomed to communal labor 2 miles away, you'd feel the weight of silence, the lack of banter or shared toil leaving a void. You've stared out the lantern room's glass, the horizon empty, the winds howl a relentless monologue, your thoughts turning inward, sleep a fleeting escape as fatigue settled. The isolation sharpened every doubt fear of a failing light. Guilt over lost ships, a half-mile offshore your mind, a battleground. The lighthouse's quiet, a paradox that both grounded and unmoored. You repose a whisper in the still hours. Yet, solitude fostered a deep introspection, a clarity born of silence. In the lantern room, a quarter-mile from your quarters, you'd stand alone. The flames flicker your only companion, its glow casting shadows that danced on the walls. As an artisan, your hands skilled from crafting a mile away, you'd find solace in the rhythm of polishing reflectors, the task a meditation that stilled your mind. You've traced the horizon, the sea's expanse, a canvas for reflection. Memories of family or past voyages surfacing in the quiet, sleep creeping closer as your thoughts softened. The lighthouse's solitude, a space where inner peace could bloom, its starkness a canvas for your soul's quiet musings. Rare visits from villagers or supply boats broke the isolation, their arrival a jolt to your solitary world. Once a month, a cart from the village, a mile away, brought oil or provisions. The driver's voice a novelty after weeks of silence. As a keeper, you'd greet them at the cliff's base. A quarter-mile descent in 5 minutes, your hands eager for news. The scent of fresh bread, a contrast to the tower's oil tang. You've shared ale by the hearth, their tales of harvests, or storms a mile away, filling the room. The brief companionship, a warmth that rivaled the fire, sleep a distant thought as laughter echoed. The lighthouse's loneliness softened by their presence. Their departure a pang that lingered. Family, if you had one, was a rare anchor. Their presence a delicate balance in the lighthouse's confines. Some keepers, unlike you, a solitary sailor, lived with a spouse or child. Their quarters a half-mile from the village cramped but alive with voices. As a keeper, you'd imagine a wife tending the hearth. A quarter mile from the lantern room, her songs cutting the silence, or a child's laughter echoing up the stairs. You've envied such keepers, their family a shield against loneliness. Their shared meals a ritual that grounded them. Yet, even they faced isolation, the tower's demands pulling them to the lantern room. Sleep a shared temptation as the family slept below. The lighthouse's solitude a weight that even love could not fully lift. Letters, when they came, were a lifeline, their words a thread to the world beyond. A supply boat, arriving every few months from a port 10 miles away in 5 hours, might carry a letter, its parchment creased, the ink smudged by sea spray. As a farmer, you'd read by candlelight, a quarter mile from the tower's summit. News of kin or village gossip, a spark in the dark, your heart lifted by their words. You've penned replies, your quill scratching in the quiet. The actor bridge to the village a mile away, sleep delayed as you wrote. The lighthouse's isolation softened by the promise of connection, each letter a reminder of a world beyond. The sea's embrace. The sea itself was a companion, its moods shaping your inner world. Its calm days, a half-mile below, were a mirror to your thoughts. The gentle waves a lullaby that soothed your mind. As a sailor, you'd know its treachery, but also its beauty. The horizons shimmer a call to reflection. You've stood in the lantern room, the sea's drone a steady pulse. Its vastness a canvas for dreams, sleep a quiet lure as the light burned. The lighthouse's solitude a space where the sea's voice became your own. Its rhythm a gentle pull toward repose. The psychological resilience required was immense. The lighthouse, a crucible for your spirit. You'd face nights of doubt, a quarter mile from your cot, the fear of a dimming flame or a missed wreck haunting. You, as an artisan, your mind sharp from solving problems a mile away, you'd battle despair, the silence amplifying every failure. The sea's roar, a reminder of lives lost a half-mile offshore. You've paced the tower, the cold stone grounding you. The flames glow, a symbol of hope. Sleep, a fleeting escape as you fought to stay vigilant. The lighthouse's isolation, a test that forged your endurance. Its quiet a mirror to your strength. Moments of companionship, though rare, were a balm. Their warmth a contrast to the tower's chill. A fellow keeper, sharing duties in larger lighthouses, might join you. Their presence, a quarter mile from the village, a rare gift. You'd share stories. By the hearth, their laughter a spark in the dark, the tales of storms or rescues a mile away binding you. You felt the loneliness lift, the fire's glow warming your hands. Sleep a distant thought as you talked, the lighthouse's solitude softened by their voice. Their departure a return to silence that made repose a subtle temptation. Tower's quiet a call to rest. The sensory world of this inner life was vivid, the lighthouse's solitude amplifying each sensation. The air was thick with oil and salt, the wind's faint whistle through the vents a quarter mile above a constant note. The creak of the stairs, the crackle of the hearth, blended with the sea's drone, a soundscape that both isolated and comforted. As a keeper, you'd feel the cold stone under your hands. The flames' warmth a fleeting refuge, the lantern's flicker casting shadows that danced, your eyes heavy as they followed. The solitude's sensory pull dulled your senses. Sleep a whisper as the quiet deepened, the lighthouse's starkness a canvas for dreams. Its loneliness a gentle nudge toward repose. The cultural significance of your role was profound, the keeper's. Solitude a symbol of sacrifice. In 18th century society, a mile from the village, You were a guardian, your isolation a service to mariners, your life a testament to duty. You'd embody this ethos, your nights alone a pledge to keep the light alive, the sea's vastness a reminder of your purpose. You've stood vigil, your heart steady, the loneliness a badge of honor. Sleep a quiet rebellion against duty's weight, the lighthouse's legacy a tale of resilience. Its beam a symbol of your solitary resolve. The fragility of rest was stark. The lighthouse's demands leaving little room for repose. Sleep was a risk, a lapse endangering ships a half-mile offshore, the silence amplifying your fatigue. As a sailor, you'd fight exhaustion, your eyes burning as you watched the sea, the towers chill, keeping you alert. You felt your head nod, the lantern room's warmth tempting you. But the sea's roar or a creaking stair pulled you back. Sleep, a whisper in the quiet. The lighthouse's duty, a relentless master, its beam your guide through the night. The dawn breaks, and you sit in your quarters. The lighthouse, a half-mile from the village, its silence a heavy cloak. Your inner world, shaped by solitude and rare companionship, forged resilience. Each moment a balance of loneliness and purpose. Your life, bound to the sea's rhythm, found meaning in its light, each pause a brush with repose, each night a testament to endurance. For now, you linger, the hearth's glow fading, the sea calming. Your heart tied to the lighthouse's quiet, a beacon where sleep was a whisper, and your resolve a testament to an 18th century keeper's enduring spirit. The first rays of dawn pierce the fog, bathing the weathered stone of an 18th century lighthouse in a pale glow as you a keeper once, a farmer or sailorist sent from the lantern room, the oil lamps now dimmed after a night of vigil. It's 1750, and having endured the grueling tasks, the tower's rugged design, the perilous rescues, and the solitude's wait, a half-mile from the village in 10 minutes. You pause in the quiet of your quarters, the sea's distant murmur a faint echo. The air carries a trace of salt and fading oil, your hands worn but steady as you reflect on your role. Where earlier segments explored your duties, the lighthouse's structure, your encounters with shipwrecks, and your inner world, this final chapter reflects on the keeper's lasting influence on maritime safety and modern coastal traditions, honoring your quiet vigilance in guiding ships through the night, weaving a legacy where the lighthouse's beam was both your burden and triumph, gently closing a tale of endurance in a world of relentless seas. Your role as a lighthouse keeper was a cornerstone of 18th century maritime safety, a silent pledge to protect lives at sea. As a keeper, you lived a mile from the village's warmth. In 20 minutes, your nights spent tending a flame that guided ships past rocks a half-mile offshore in 10 minutes. The lighthouse, a beacon in a world without modern navigation, was a lifeline, its beam cutting through storms to warn of danger. You'd adjust the lamps a quarter-mile climb in 5 minutes, ensuring their light reached 5 miles on clear nights, your hands steady despite the wind's howl. This duty, though solitary, saved countless sailors, their ships spared from wrecks you'd seen too often. Your vigilance, a legacy that anchored coastal communities, sleep a distant thought. As you upheld the maritime lifeline, the lighthouse's light was a symbol of hope, its glow a promise of safe passage. As a former sailor, you'd known the sea's treachery 10 miles away in 5 hours. The sight of a lighthouse beam a relief on stormy nights. Now, as its keeper, you embodied that hope, your flame a guide for vessels carrying grain or silk, their crews depending on your care. You've stood in the lantern room, the glass cold under your hands, The beams flicker, a testament to your resolve. Its reach, a shield against the sea's wrath. This legacy of safety, born of your sleepless nights, shaped a maritime culture that revered lighthouses. Your efforts, a quiet heroism that lingered in sailors' tales. The light, a beacon that pierced the dark. Your work influenced maritime practices, standardizing the role of lighthouses across coasts. In 1750, lighthouses were few, each one a mile from the nearest village, a marvel of human will. As a keeper, you'd log sightings of ships, a quarter-mile from the lantern room. Your entries detailing storms or wrecks, shared with port authorities 10 miles away. These logs, scratched in candlelight, informed charts and routes. Your observations, refining the crude navigation of the era. You've penned notes, your quill steady, the sea's roar a backdrop. Your work shaping safer passages, sleep a fleeting temptation as you wrote. The lighthouse's legacy, a foundation for maritime lore, its light a guide that echoed beyond your cliff. The keeper's role was a cultural touchstone, embodying 18th century values of duty and sacrifice. Coastal communities, a half-mile away, saw you as a guardian. Your tower, a symbol of resilience against the sea's might. As a farmer, used to labor 2 miles from home, you'd embraced this calling. Your nights alone, a service to strangers. Your life a testament to selflessness. You faced storms, your hands blackened by oil. The villagers' tales of your vigilance, a badge of honor. Sleep a quiet rebellion against duty's weight. This cultural legacy, where keepers were unsung heroes, wove you into the fabric of coastal life. Your light, a story told in taverns a mile away. Its glow, a symbol of unwavering resolve. The lighthouse's influence extended to economic stability. Its light protecting trade that sustained ports. Ships carrying wool or spices, a half-mile offshore, relied on your beam to avoid rocks, their cargo fueling markets 10 miles away. As a merchant son, you'd seen trades pulse a mile from the forum. And now, as a keeper, you safeguarded it, your flame ensuring ships reached harbor. You've watched vessels pass, their sails catching your light, the economic ripple. Of your work, a quiet pride, sleep a distant dream as you tended the flame. The lighthouse's legacy, a shield for commerce. Its beam, a thread in the tapestry of trade. The technological legacy of your role was subtle but profound, your work paving the way for lighthouse advancements. The oil lamps and reflectors, crude in 1750, were your tools, their maintenance a quarter-mile climb consuming your nights. As an artisan, skilled in crafting a mile away, you'd clean the copper plates, their polish amplifying the light. Your efforts, a precursor to later lenses like Fresnel's, developed decades after. You've scrubbed soot, your hands raw, the sea spray stinging. Your work refining the art of illumination, sleep a whisper as you toiled. The lighthouse's legacy, a spark for innovation, its light a foundation for brighter beams that would guide future ships. Your resilience in the face of isolation shaped a legacy of mental fortitude, a model for enduring solitude. The lighthouse, a mile from human warmth, was a crucible. Your nights alone, a half-mile above the sea, testing your spirit. As a sailor, you'd faced storms 10 miles away. But the tower's silence was a new challenge, its quiet amplifying doubts about failing lights or lost ships. You've paced the lantern room, the flames glow, a steady companion. Your resolve, hardened by loneliness, sleep a fleeting escape as you fought despair. The lighthouse's legacy, a testament to human endurance, its solitude a forge for strength. That inspired coastal tales, the spiritual dimension of your role, added depth to its legacy. The lighthouse, a beacon of more than light. You'd pray in your quarters, a quarter-mile from the lantern room. The sea's vastness, a reminder of divine power. Your flame, a humble offering to sailors' safety. As a keeper, you'd light the lamps with reverence. Their glow, a prayer against the dark. The winds howl, a hymn to resilience. You've knelt by your cot, the hearth's warmth grounding. The act of tending the light, a sacred duty. Sleep, a gentle temptation as faith steadied you. The lighthouse's legacy, a blend of earthly and divine. Its beam, a symbol of hope in a turbulent world. Modern coastal traditions owe a debt to your vigilance. The lighthouse's legacy, echoing in today's maritime culture. Lighthouses, now automated, dot coasts a mile from towns. Their beams a nod to your oil lamps, their keepers' tales preserved in museums 10 miles away. As a keeper, you'd see your work in modern beacons. Their lights guiding ferries or fishing boats, their keepers' logs now digital. You've inspired coastal festivals, a half-mile from the shore, where lanterns honor your nights. Sleep, a distant memory as you tended the flame. The lighthouse's legacy, a thread in maritime heritage. Its glow, a reminder of your quiet watch. Keeper's influence on community resilience is profound. Your role, a model for collective duty. Villagers, a mile away, relied on your light to protect their sailors. Their trust in you, a bond that strengthened coastal life. As a farmer, you'd known shared labor 2 miles away. And now, as a keeper, you served a wider community. Your beam, a shield for families waiting for ships. You've heard their thanks, carried by a cart a half-mile to your door. Their gratitude, a warmth that eased your solitude. Sleep, a whisper as you stood vigil. The lighthouse's legacy, a cornerstone of coastal unity. Its light, a bond that tied you to others. The environmental legacy of your work was subtle. Your presence, a balance with nature's fury. The lighthouse, built on cliffs a half-mile from the sea, stood against storms that reshaped shores. Its beam, a guide through fog that hid rocks below. As a sailor, you'd respected the sea's power 10 miles away, and now you worked with it, your lighter dialogue with the elements. You've watched waves crash, the cliff's edge eroding. Your role, preserving a balance between man and sea. Sleep, a fleeting thought as you tended the flame. The lighthouse's legacy, a harmony with nature, its glow, a testament to your respect for the wild. The personal legacy of your life was humble. Your story often untold, but vital. History may name admirals or merchants, but you, a keeper, wove a thread of quiet heroism. Your nights a mile from the village, a sacrifice for unseen lives. As an artisan, your hands skilled a mile away, you'd find pride in your light. Its beam a mark of your endurance. You've faced storms, your heart steady, the solitude shaping a resilience that outlived you. Sleep, a quiet rebellion against duty's grind. The lighthouse's legacy, a tale of unsung courage. Its light, a monument to your steadfast heart